Hi everyone, it's TheTidesChanging here, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. Today I'm building a restaurant for Newcrest because Dino released about a month ago and I've been really wanting to build a restaurant. And also, I haven't done a build for Newcrest in 3 or 4 months, and I actually forgot that I was trying to fill out Newcrest until a week or two ago. So since I wanted to build a restaurant, also wanted to do another build for Newcrest, I thought why not combine the two and do a restaurant for Newcrest. For this restaurant, I went with the house that was turned into a business kind of a look, because that's something I've seen a lot in smaller towns and I find it very cozy and it's just something that I really like. And that's the feel that I wanted to give the community section of Newcrest. I was going to do the community part of Newcrest in a modern style, but I realized that that wouldn't really fit in that well because I looked around the neighborhood and realized that there were a lot of more traditional homes, so just doing this crazy modern build would just really stick out like a sore thumb. So I feel like it was better to go with a style that fits in a little bit better, and also to just make all the lots that I'm making for Newcrest have a cohesive look to them. So most of these community lots that I'm making for Newcrest will probably be done in this style, and I still need to figure out what exactly I want to do for the other community lots. So on the video I had for the spa speed build, I asked you all what you thought I should do for the other community lots, and I think a bar was set as one of the things I should make, so I'm kind of doing that with this restaurant because it's called Eddie's Sports Bar, so it looks more like a bar on the inside but it functions as a restaurant. I thought that'd be something kind of cool to do. And also there's a few people who said that I should try making a library because there aren't really a lot of libraries on the gallery, and I also haven't seen a ton of library speed builds, so I thought that that would be something good to do. Plus I haven't built a library before, or at least not in The Sims 4. I think I did one in The Sims 3 years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. But I thought that would be something good to do, and for the library I was thinking that rather than doing it in this style, I could do it in the style of some libraries I've been in where they're brown brick buildings that are squarish and they're also more of a modern style, but nothing super modern, so it would still fit in well with this, but I think it would break up the house converted into business style nicely. I was also thinking that it would be cool to have some club meeting rooms in the library, like a meeting room for a reading club. I also thought it'd be cool to have a kids reading area like I've seen in a bunch of libraries, and it would also be a good way to use a bunch of the items from the kids room stuff pack. So that's probably going to be the next build that I do for Newcrest, because I'm actually pretty excited about that. I never thought I'd be so excited about building a library in The Sims, because usually it is kind of, it's not something that I'm really that enthusiastic about building, but I've got some cool ideas for it. And I believe a few people also said that I should make a community pool, so I was thinking that could be something good for the 40 by 20 lot. Although I'm not sure if there really needs to be a pool, because there is one on the spa lot, but it's not very big and it's more of a natural pool, so it might be good to have a separate thing. And then I could also have some club meeting rooms there too. And then I'm not sure what to do for the last lot. I think a few people suggested that I have a store, but I wanted to have lots that were fun places to take your Sims to, and I feel like stores aren't really the most fun lots to have your Sims hang out on. So I wanted to figure out something else to do with that last one. Here I'm finishing up placing some plants on top of the outdoor dining area. At first I wasn't planning on having an outdoor dining area, but after I built the restaurant I realized that it was not nearly large enough to fill a 30 by 20 lot, and I didn't want to just make it bigger to fill up the lot. I like the size it was at, so I figured having a dining area off to the side of the building would be a good way to take up some of the space, although I couldn't figure out what to do to fill up the space at the back of the lot. So I just put some hedges around the building and then just had some trees and such at the back of the lot so it would kind of blend in with the surroundings. I definitely want to build some themed restaurants, just something that's more creative than this, because this is a pretty generic restaurant and I had fun making it, but I just want to make something that's more exciting. And I will be starting a restaurant Let's Build soon, probably next weekend. And what I was thinking about doing for that was making an eco-modern restaurant that has a lot of plant life around it and has, I guess, a healthier menu. I thought that would be something fun to do, and it would also be something that's very bright and modern. It would be a nice contrast to this restaurant, which, as you'll see once we get to the interior, is very dark and kind of dingy on the inside. So I thought it'd be good to contrast that and just have two different restaurants that are very different from each other, so I'm not just building a bunch of things that are really similar. And then some other ideas I had for themes that I wanted to do was a sci-fi themed restaurant using some of the alien stuff that came with Get to Work and some of the robot decorations from kids' room stuff. And I also thought it'd be cool to make, I guess, a frontier themed restaurant using the stuff from Outdoor Retreat. And what else did I have? I was thinking about doing some kind of garden restaurant using stuff from romantic garden stuff. So yeah, those were some of the ideas I had, and then I had a few others. I don't know if I'll get to do everything because I don't want to be building restaurants for the next 10 years. And I was thinking about doing the sci-fi themed restaurant for the Let's Build, but I think it's best to stick with the eco-modern one that I was thinking of because I actually have some ideas already planned out for that. And I just feel like it's best to go with something I have a clearer plan for so I'm not just fumbling around, not sure what to do, which is what I'm worried will happen if I try to do the sci-fi themed restaurant for a Let's Build. So it might be best if I just do that one on my own where I can just really take my time figuring things out. But it is something I definitely want to try. Hopefully I'll do it because I feel like I shouldn't talk about builds I want to do in speed builds because I end up talking about builds and then I don't finish them or I don't end up doing them, but that is something that I really want to do. And if any of you have ideas for restaurant themes that you might like to see me try, then feel free to leave them below because I always do love hearing your ideas. I mean, I probably won't get to everything if there's a bunch of suggestions, but it's just always fun to hear what you all think. And it might also give some others who are looking for ideas for restaurant builds a little bit of inspiration. Getting back to this, right now I'm finishing up the decorations. In the front of the building, we have the sign that lets you know what the restaurant's name is. And I just really like the signs that came with Dine Out and how much customization you can have with them. And here we're just adding some grass underneath the trees to make it look a little bit more real. And I also thought it'd be good to put some more ivy on the side of the building. And I just put ivy on the side because it was just straight, like there's no bump outs or anything like that. So I thought some ivy would be a good way to add a little bit of detail to the side of the building. And then here's where I'm just bringing the hedge fencing in closer to the building so that I can turn the back area into just a bunch of trees. I actually thought about scrapping what I had because it didn't fill up the whole lot, but I really liked it, so I figured I'd just make it work instead, and when you're in live mode, everything kind of flows together back here, so I think it ends up looking fine. There's not much else that I do at the outside after this, just putting a few things outside of the kitchen area that's at the back of the building. I really wanted to have a restaurant build up sooner, but around the time Dine Out released, I was really preoccupied with bringing back my Sims 4 Let's Play. So getting everything set up for that just took up a huge chunk of my free time, and then I was just busy with other things. But this past weekend was a 3-day weekend thanks to 4th of July, so I had a bit of extra time to work on this build, so I got this all done this past weekend. Oh, and this past weekend I also went for a 25-mile bike ride with my boyfriend, one of my coworkers, and then some of his friends, which I was not prepared for at all because I haven't really ridden my bike much this year. The only time I really rode it was in this parade type thing that was through a city. And that was a 10 to 15 mile ride, but it was on flatter land. It was also very slow at parts. Like there are some points where it's easier to just walk my bike than to actually ride it. So that was definitely very different than riding your bike 25 miles through rolling hills. And then my boyfriend and I also have hybrid bikes, which are good for if you're just riding them around your college campus, which is what we originally got them for, or you're biking 2 miles to work or something like that, not for going for a 25-mile bike ride. And when we got there, my coworker and his friends all had proper biking clothes and racing bikes, and then my boyfriend and I had our hybrid bikes and just regular workout clothes, and I realized that I did not prepare enough for the bike ride. Because when he told me the day before that it was going to be 25 miles, I didn't really think about it. But it was fine. The ride was tough, but we got through it. We definitely had to work harder than the others who had the racing bikes, because the racing bikes are much more lightweight and also put you in more aerodynamic position, all of that stuff, so you can coast with them a lot more than you can with the kinds of bikes that we had. But on the bright side, we got a better workout out of it, so that's always good. But if I ever go for a bike ride that long again, I'm going to look into getting a racing bike first, just because it would make it so much easier, and then I'd be able to keep up with everyone else a lot easier. It was a really beautiful ride too, because it was through all of these country roads and rolling hills, and we also went through some covered bridges. So it was just a really nice way to spend the day, and it definitely made me want to do that again. But like I said, I want to look into getting a racing bike before doing something like that again. And then after that, we all went to a pizza place, and I probably negated most of the healthiness of the bike ride, because my boyfriend and I split a big plate of cheese fries and then ate a bunch of pizza, but I don't care. I was hungry and tired, and I just wanted to eat food, and cheese fries sounded amazing. I think I earned those cheese fries after biking for 2.5 hours. And then after the pizza, we also went to a brewery and got some beer, so it was a really fun day. That was definitely the highlight of this past weekend. But at this point, I'm on to the inside of the restaurant, which is always my favorite part of the build to talk about. And as I mentioned before, this is just a very dingy and dark looking place. I just really wanted to give it that sort of a feel. I just felt like it being very bright wouldn't work well for this kind of a place, so I used those cool kitchen lights throughout it because they tend to not make things too bright. The restaurant that I wanted to make for the Let's Build will definitely be a lot more colorful than this one is, because this one is very neutral. And I also wanted to have some booths, but at first I wasn't sure how to fit them in, because what I was planning on doing at first was just having booths facing each other and having half walls around them, but the problem is this build is an even number of tiles wide, and then the booths are 3 tiles wide, so they just weren't centered, and that really bugged me. So I just put them in the middle like that, and then I just felt like there needed to be something else, like just having the booth sitting there didn't really look right. So I just used those support beams to frame it some or give it a little bit more pizzazz. And I really liked how that looked. The only problem is you could see them a little bit on the second floor, but it didn't bug me enough to take them out, so I just left it in. And if it really bugs you, you can always delete them and just figure out something else to put behind the booths or just have nothing there. It's up to you. I wasn't sure what to do behind the bar area first. I was trying to use that cabinet that came with Get Together because I thought it really fit in with the whole bar theme that I'm going on. And I also used a bunch of other Get Together items on the walls elsewhere in it, but then I remembered that you have to have at least the medium wall height to use it, so that didn't work, unfortunately, and then I was just kind of stuck on what to use until I remembered that these bottle racks came with Dine Out, and I thought that they would look really cool behind the bar, so I just put those in, had some mirrors behind them, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And I wanted, I was gonna put a TV in there because I felt like in order to call this a sports bar, there had to be a TV to watch sports on, but I realized that was kind of an odd spot to have it. Also getting some cabinets up top to further separate this bar area from the rest of the restaurant. And yeah, that's how I ended up doing the bar area. Just have to get a few decorations in here. I thought it'd be good to have some kind of board that would maybe have drink specials on it. And then I also added in a bunch of other little knickknacks that came with Dine Out, like the, I put some menus in there and also some olives and peppers and the water pitcher as well. And then that's pretty much it for this whole area that's out here. Oh yeah, I was gonna put one of those saucer lights in, but yeah, I realized that just lit up the whole place a little bit too much. I wanted to keep things looking fairly dim. So after I finish up this area, I move on to the kitchen, and I just use brick on the walls here, and I actually use that brick throughout most of this build. There's only one room upstairs that I didn't use a brick in, which it's probably too much brick, but I was just really into the brick that came with Dine Out. I just wanted to use it all over the place, and I didn't think anything else looked as good in this place, so yeah, I just used it everywhere almost. The only room I didn't use it on is the private dining room that is upstairs. And oh yeah, so upstairs there's a private dining area, there's also a little rec area, hangout area, and the bathrooms. But I'll get to that once we move upstairs. So now I'm just adding some knickknacks and stuff on top of these shelves here in the kitchen. I really like how this kitchen turned out. I had a lot of fun making it. I realized that was a little bit too many utensils hanging down there, so I just left only one of the shelves that had the utensils. So yeah, there are 2 of these cooking stations in the kitchen, which might be a little bit too much. I don't know, it's probably fine though. I just thought it would look better to have 2 in there. Also just putting some cabinets around the fridge just to make it look a little bit more built in, trying to figure out the right arrangement of them. So yeah, at first I was mixing and matching it with the more industrial styled one and the black one, but yeah, I just ended up going with that and doing the same thing with the shelves over here in the kitchen. Oh, and I also did make a custom menu up for this place because I thought it'd be a little bit more fun to go through everything and pick out stuff rather than just going for one of the defaults, because I was thinking about going for the diner default, but then no, I figured it'd be more fun to just pick it out. So yeah, for the drinks for this place, I just picked everything that you can normally get from a bar because this is supposed to be a sports bar. And then for the appetizers and foods, I just thought about what you might normally see at a bar or more casual place. So it is kind of close to the diner menu, but there's a few things that are different. And then there's not really a ton on the dessert menu. Oh yeah, and then here I was going back in and putting some TVs in, because yeah, again, I felt like to call it a sports bar, I really should have some TVs in there. And that was the only spot I could really think of to put it, but yeah, I like how that looks. So now I'm moving upstairs and just getting some more ivy around the back to add a little bit more detail to the building. In the bathrooms, I really wanted to do the whole using the tallest half wall for the bathroom stalls thing, but whenever I tried to put the half walls in, it would make the roof that's at the back of the building show through, which is really frustrating, and I left it out, but I spent probably about 20 minutes trying to get that to work, and eventually I just gave up and used the walls, which is disappointing because the whole half wall thing does look a lot better and a lot more realistic, but whatever, it's not really that huge of a deal. Oh yeah, I remember that I forgot to put railings on the stairs, so that's definitely something I had to go back and fix, and also added another plant to add some more greenery in here. So now I'm just getting the layout of the top floor done. So that room at the front is the private dining room, although it has 2 glass doors going into it, so it's not really that private, but it's at least more private than the dining areas that are downstairs. And I just did that because I was in a restaurant that was kind of like this place once, and I remember someone saying something, like someone who worked there saying something about there being private dining upstairs, so I thought that that would be something good to do here in this restaurant. And that is the only table in this restaurant that has 8 chairs at it, so if you come in with a group of 8 Sims, that's the only place you're going to be able to sit, and I thought that was something kind of nice. This area here outside the private dining area is just a hangout spot. I put some foosball tables in and also one of the dartboards. I thought it'd be fun to have some other activities that your Sims could do with this place other than eating. So you could maybe also use it for a hangout for a club if you want. That could also be pretty cool. Oh yeah, and there I was trying to revisit the whole those beams sticking through the ceiling thing, but yeah, I just left them. I decided that I liked them too much to just delete them, so I just dealt with them poking through a little bit. And here I'm just getting all the walls and flooring in the bathrooms. Got stuck on the flooring in the bathroom for a little bit, but I think I ended up going, yeah, this is the flooring that I ended up keeping in there. I also went back and forth on the wallpaper up here a lot because I felt like the brick looked really good and I really wanted to keep it, but at the same time I was thinking I've used brick way too much, I probably should use something else, but in the end I just kept it all out here because I liked it, so I figured since it's my build I should probably just go with what I like. But I do go with a different kind of wallpaper in the private dining room, so at least there's something different in there. And yeah, I've got most of the furnishing out here in this area done, just adding a few more paintings and such. So yeah, like I said, I used a bunch of stuff from Get Together in this build because I just felt like it fit the theme so well. And now I'm getting started on the private dining area, and I made this area a little bit nicer, so we actually have some plants on the table in here. I was going to put plants on the tables downstairs, but I just didn't really think that fit in that well with this place. I also remember that there's these really nice lights that came with Dine Out, so I used one of those in here. I just really liked how that looked. Also getting some plants on either side of the doors. Looking at this now, I'm really glad I decided to change the walls in here to paneling, because I think the paneling I ended up going with looks a lot better. Yeah, so that's what I ended up going with, and then I thought about changing some of the brick out there to the paneling, but I didn't like how that looked, so I ended up just keeping it all brick out there. Also getting a rug under there, and there's just a few more things that I do in this room, just figuring out the painting that's back there, also putting a chair in the corner as if it was an extra chair in case there happens to be 9 people who want to sit there, not 10, so yeah, maybe I should put or not 10, not 8, not 10. Yeah, maybe I should put 2 chairs in, so I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I also thought it would look a little bit better if there was 2 lights instead of 1, so that's what I'm going back and doing now. Also put in one of the new paintings that came with Dine Out. I was kind of sad that not many of the new wall paintings that came with Dine Out fit in with this restaurant, but I'm hoping to use more of them in future restaurant builds. Or actually future builds in general, because you could definitely use them in builds other than restaurants. But yeah, that's it for that room, so now I'm on to the bathrooms. After the bathrooms, all I have left is the outdoor dining area, so there's not too much left to do in this build, and I didn't really do anything too fancy with the bathrooms, just have the basic sink and toilet and trash can and that sort of thing. Also using the hand soap and towels that came with Get to Work. I was so glad when they added those in because it's just perfect for community lots like this. Also stuck one of these old-timey wall decorations there and just getting all the toilets in, so yeah, nothing too exciting here with the bathroom. This was towards the end of the build, so I was just kind of in a rush to finish it. I also like using that, the barrel trash can in builds like this. I just think it looks perfect in here. So yeah, just going through and doing the same thing over in this bathroom. I of course got through this one really quick because I had already figured out exactly what I wanted to do over in the other bathroom, so it's just a matter of copying and pasting from one bathroom to another. And we're almost done with that, so now it's on to the outdoor dining area. And out here I use I also put in some of those patio warmers that came with Dine Out. Yeah, I figured that'd be something good to use out here. And I used a mixture of tables that came with Dine Out and chairs that came with perfect patio stuff. I thought about using the table that came with perfect patio stuff, but I also wanted to have a variety of table sizes, and that one only comes in one size, so I figured it's best just to combine the two of them. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this build, so before leaving off, I just wanted to say as usual that if you want to download the slot, there's a link to do so in the description, and if you want to find it in-game, I have some information on how to do that down there. And yeah, that's all I have to say, so I hope you enjoy the rest of this video.